Hello, Christopher here. This video is a basic introduction to breath-orientated meditation. It's using the basic tools, understanding those tools, and just getting an introduction to them. It's designed for very first time beginners and anybody else who wants to refresh on the early tools. There will be a bit of dialogue with it, and it's just keeping the mind focused. Later videos I'll do will have less dialogue and more self-guidance. But for this one as an introduction, I'll just keep a reasonable dialogue present. You can tune into some of the other videos later to reduce the amount of dialogue. So for the moment we're just going to get comfortable, find a comfortable seating position. And I'll invite you to just close your eyes. Just gently and quietly close your eyes. We're just turning our attention, our awareness to the breath. I start with the nostrils. Just being aware whether I'm breathing in through one nostril, both nostrils, or one more than another. Just be aware of the breath coming in, turning round, and going out again. The natural flow of the breath. We're not trying to make it anything. It doesn't have to be anything. It's just as it is. We're noticing the breath as it is. A gentle, quiet noticing of awareness in this moment. Constantly aware of this moment and how the natural state of change passes through this moment. As the breath comes in, turns round and goes out again. Each breath in turn, we notice it coming in, it turns round and goes out again. There's no perfect breath, there's just breath. Each breath is its own breath in turn. And we just notice each breath as it is, unique and individual in its turn. As we're aware of the breath, the sensations of the breath, movement of the breath, be aware of the whole body breathing, lungs, chest, airways. Wherever you notice the breath, being aware of it. May be aware of the chest arising and falling, and arising once more. Notice the sensations of the chest moving, remember, we're not trying to make our body breathe. We're just noticing its natural flow of the breath. Now if you find yourself thinking, Just notice there I am thinking. And each thought is like a leaf floating by in a stream. It comes into view, I notice it's there, I let it go as it drifts on by, like a leaf floating by in a stream. It comes into view, I notice it's there, it drifts on by. As we shift our attention from the thought, once more back to the breath, and the current sensation of the breath, whether it's warmth, cold, tingling, pressure, any sensations of the breath. We just notice the sensations. Notice how they change, if there's any change, and how it changes from moment to moment. One moment of experience to the next moment of experience. Remembering to be aware of the breath, the sensations of the breath. If you notice thoughts coming up, just notice them, acknowledge yourself, congratulate yourself for noticing them. Return the awareness back to the breath once more. Remember, we're being aware of the breath, the sensations of the breath, movement of the breath. We're not thinking about the breath. Awareness is like the awareness that's aware of our thinking, because we're aware that we think. We're stepping out of the thought into the awareness, and we're now resting that awareness on the breath. So we're shifting our awareness from thinking to breath. It's a subtle shift of awareness. Aware of the breath and the sensations of the breath. Each breath in turn. It comes in, it turns around, it goes out again. We're not rushing the breath. We're not trying to make it anything. We're just observing its natural flow. As it comes in, turns round, and goes out again. Back to the breath, the sensations of the breath. We don't stop thoughts arising, because that would create suppression. We don't try and push them away once we notice them, because that would create aversion. When we notice ourselves thinking, we just congratulate ourselves for noticing, because that's part of awareness, noticing when we're thinking. And being able to choose whether we stay with the thought or come back to the breath again. That ability to choose. We're developing the awareness of choice. Being able to choose to focus on the breath, letting the thought drift away like the leaf floating by in the stream. Or if you want to, you can picture it like a cloud floating by in the sky. Comes into view, I notice it's there, I let it go as it drifts on by, as I bring my awareness back to the breath once more, quietly and gently bringing it back to the breath, sensations of the breath, movement of the breath, totally, completely aware of the breath and the changing nature of the breath. Noticing how it's constantly changing and being with that change. Constantly feeling that flow and fluctuation of the breath, the movement of the breath. I'm not observing the breath, I'm experiencing the breath. Feeling my whole body experiencing the breath until we become the experience. Breathing into the experience of breath, awareness of breath. Being aware of the subtleties of movement and of experience of the breath, and what part of the body we experience those subtleties and sensations of breath. Different parts of our body may experience it differently. Just noticing those shifts and changes. And how it feels to be with them. That constant state of change. How does it feel to be with constant change? And to notice how something is constantly changing and just being aware of it. Noticing it. We don't need to do anything with it. We're just being aware. Aware of the breath and the sensations of the breath. The natural flow of the breath. How does the breath feel with my body? How does my body feel with the breath? How does the body actually feel as I breathe this breath? Feeling the breath, the sensations of the breath, movement of the breath. Noticing how our body feels with the breath. and how the breath feels with the body. Is it relaxed? Is it calm? As we let it flow naturally. Remembering we don't have to make it anything. It doesn't have to be anything. It just is what it is. And we're noticing what it is in this moment. Now this moment. Now this moment. The ever-changing experience of the breath. Noticing the breath coming in, turning round, and going out again. Each breath in turn comes in, turns round, and goes out again. Natural rhythm of the breath, of the movement of the breath, of the sensations of the breath. Breathing into the lungs, the chest. Feeling the lungs filling and expanding. Feeling them turn round as it just lets the breath go. And the breath naturally goes out on its own. We don't need to make it happen. It just happens naturally. Noticing the naturalness of the breath. The body naturally breathes in again. Remember, if you find yourself thinking, just noticing that. And we're just letting the thoughts go again. To bring our awareness and attention back to the breath. Even if we're thinking about the breath, just noticing that we're thinking about it rather than experiencing it. Just noticing ourselves coming back to the sensations of the breath, the experience of the breath, through the sensations of the breath. Breathing with those sensations, noticing them changing, constant state of change of the breath. We don't hold on to the breath because that creates tension. We don't try and push it away because that can create anxiety. We just notice it. We let it flow. Natural flow, movement of the breath. And if the breath could breathe all on its own, how would it be? Natural rhythm of the breath. Sensations of the breath. totally, completely aware of the breath. If you find yourself thinking, just notice, there I am thinking. Congratulate yourself for noticing it. First we shift our awareness back to the breath once more. We're coming back to the breath now in the lungs and the chest. Just following that breath through the airways, back through to the nostrils again. I always start with the nostrils and always come back to where I start. Start and finish in the same place. We bring our awareness back to the body once more. Being aware of where we are, what we're doing, how our body feels, the position we're in. Bring our attention back to the here and now, what we're doing. Just quietly and gently opening our eyes again, being aware of where we are, what we're doing, and who we're with. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now once we're back in the room, you can just, when you're ready, you can shift position, get a drink of water, or anything you feel drawn from here, or just sit and relax and enjoy the comfort and hopefully the silence. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.